So, after ripping into my Mazda mx-6, pulling the alternator out, leaving a big old gaping hole where there is now no AC pump or alternator, you are gonna see all the struggle that I had to go through, and the accidental battery being plugged in and getting a little bit of shocky shock everywhere, and how greasy and dirty the bottom of this engine bay is. Unfortunately, I'm not, trying to make the engine bay spotless right now. I just want to see the bolts, see how this comes apart. Look like these might be a 12 right there. These two 12s. Take that off, and then we'll go from there. Have to disconnect the AC lines, which is fine. The AC already didn't work. Alright, well, let me grab some tools and then we'll get started. Okay. Not to lose. Let's see if I can't get these lines off.
This one on the top, kind of a weird spot, so I pulled out the swivel. Ratcheting wrenches.
I don't know if you can see all the crap that's falling right now, but there's definitely a lot of crap. That's for freaking sure. Alright, thankfully those weren't too long of bolts. And yeah, as you can see, obviously no burst of pressure. There's no fucking freon in it. No freaking freon, I'm sorry. Excuse my potty mouth. And even after spraying degreaser all over it, it's clearly still pretty dirty. Okay, this one should be loose. Okay, let me just... Okay. Now that I got those top lines off, I'm seeing that there's two more on top that appear to be holding this thing on. Let me wipe my hands off a little bit so I can show you guys. Oh, and also with the lines off as well, you could finally start to see the alternator way better, so that's good. But see, there's one bolt right there, there's another one right there. So yeah, so we got this guy, and this guy's hiding right above there. He's really dirty, but he's right there. And then in all its glory, the only thing we really actually have to take off, the alterblader. So we'll continue wrenching on it, try and get this compressor off, AC compressor off, and then keep going. Alright, so still trying to get bolts out of this thing. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit more of a daunting task than I had originally thought. But thankfully, it's also proving to be a bit easier than I thought too.
Yeah, same time, once I noticed, not to be a pain in the butt. Okay, so obviously bada boom, the next bolt out, another long one. I'm just gonna get these two bottom boys out. And we should, in theory, have the AC compressor off. But that's just a theory. No, I'm just kidding. There you go, number 3.
And let's see if this guy wants to cooperate, or if he's gonna need a bit of a wrench persuasion now. He seems to be coming. Alright, alright. There you go. And sometimes I don't understand how this shit can get so dirty so quickly. I guess I get oil leak and all that other stuff, but look at that. The whole bolt all the way up is dirty and it just came out. Alright, but AC compressor off, and I'm sure there's still wires and crap plugged into it. Alright. So obviously, yeah, there's something connected to it, which I didn't see from the top. And it's plugged in, but then if you look, it just connects right here, but it connects to itself. That connects to this, that connects to this, but doesn't go up into the car. So it never did anything, which now makes me question why, just why? I don't know. Unfortunately, I was not the first owner of this car, and clearly somebody did some interesting things to it. Clearly here. So give me a sec while I get some cutting pliers or something. Cut that off. So got the knife. Get this off. Okay. Yeah, so this plug just went into itself. I don't know if this is for the clutch, but then this wire doesn't go to anything. And I don't see an extra wire that's hanging down that it could have been going to. So I don't know. I'm sure that's partially why my AC wasn't working, but also I don't know if it's this line or this one over here, the high or low side, but one of these has a leak. I know that for sure. I'm pretty sure it's this one, which I think is the high pressure side. But again, I'm not sure. I'd have to replace all the lines because at this point they're all fucking dirty and grimy enough. May as well just replace everything. Is that real? Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but that's nails. That is 2 nails in the back for whatever reason. Something tells me that's not a OEM. I don't know if Mazda would do something like that. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's just literally 2 nails. Okay. Always glad to find interesting things. Alright, so what do we got? And then a dirty ass alternator. What do we got? Okay, so it looks like just 2 bolts. How it normally is on an alternator. Thankfully, this is no different other than whatever the heck reason that there's 2 nails on it. So, I'm gonna assume that's a 12 right there, way up top. Yep. Okay. Get it off of this side. Now I don't have to go up top, which is fine. Yeah. Alright, so let me grab that from the top. You might be able to see me, you might not. Let me just knock that bolt off. Actually, before I do that, let me figure out how the heck does the wires connect to the alternator. Also from the top, of course. That works. Okay, so yeah, I'm also gonna have to get that bolt from the top, looks like, which is fine. Not a biggie. Alright, well, just give me 1 second. Alright, so that one's almost all the way out. Time on that, which is fine. Yeah. Look at that. Just straight up goop. Look at that. It's like the nastiest Play-Doh. Yeah. It's probably tastes just as nasty. Although I'm sure there's some people that enjoy the taste of Play-Doh. No, not to bag on those people, but, you know, I don't remember it tasting very delicious. Here's the top bolt off. And now, that guy. Which, assuming that this is a normal Mazda thing, yeah, that's 14. Looking for, and the 2 nails moved. Which just makes me all the more curious of why there was nails. Are these acting as the nuts? I don't know. Yeah, it's literally just a bent nail. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a secret technique that I've never, I mean, not that I've been working on cars for like 100 years or anything, but like, yeah, it's literally a nail. I don't know. There might be some weird technique, or I don't know. I don't know, and I don't really honestly care to find out, if I'm being perfectly honest. Tightens up, so why would there be nails? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really need to know. I don't really I mean, obviously I'm curious, but yeah, it tightens up fine. I don't know. I don't know what you would need nails for. Cool. That's right there. Should make it easier to get to the board here. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, full power. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot to record, but yeah, my negative terminal had moved and started touching the wire. Well, the wire moved, started touching the negative terminal again, which yeah, charged up the whole electrical system, which I had, like I said, I thought I had disconnected, and I did, but of course something moved. And then of course I forgot to start recording once I started taking the wire off, which is right about there. Come on, plug. You're gonna be like that? You're so gummed up and grimy. You're gonna be a butt. Really? Instead of just on the one side. Okay, so alternator out, that plug gave me some struggle, of course. Alternator out, power steering out. I'm gonna clean, I'm not gonna say all of this because that would be a lie, but I'm gonna try and clean most of this. And yeah. But for now, I gotta take this out and I'm gonna clean my power steering and I'm not gonna clean the alternator because I'm gonna take that in, give it to the shop and let them freaking deal with it because I don't want to deal with it. Okay, so this was our very dirty AC compressor. So we're just gonna let this thing just get some degreaser on it. with the bolts as well, may as well. And then I'm just gonna sit here and scrub it for like an hour. So I don't think you guys would be very entertained by me sitting here scrubbing this. Well, I guess it could be like most satisfying. I don't know if this crap and crud is very satisfying, but you know. Okay, so clean this up. You can see it's a lot better. You could touch it without getting your fingers all black. Well, obviously I am already super dirty, and I couldn't get everything out that brush. It's kind of a thick boy, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did. And I mean, like I said, I could actually grab it, and well, other than a couple of little spots, my hands aren't gonna immediately get super dirty. But yeah, man, this thing works pretty good. See, the outer ring spins fine. The actual compressor part spins good. So, you know, so that should be good. You just gotta take the alternator, which I threw inside of this bag, the alternator over and get it. But unfortunately, that's gonna be a couple day wait. All right. So last night was able to go and grab the new alternator. So we got that bag roll right here. Nice, clean, shiny, new hardware. Well, except for that one. And then of course we got our cleaned up power steering pump. So it should be good to throw it all back together and have a good time. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we gotta throw the alternator up in here. See if I can't get it. I'll get a better angle. Yeah. So the alternator, one of the mounts is right here on the side of the engine. You can see it right there. Bolt goes right there, and then it goes up into the top. So we're gonna try and do that. See how simple it is putting it back compared to how it was taking it apart. Should definitely be, well, a bit easier just from the fact that I can see everything because, well, it's mostly clean. But, you know, I could prove myself wrong here in a sec when I inevitably start to struggle.
I can blindly get this plug to plug in. That would help. Face in the right direction. It would also help me be able to see. There you go. It's on.
plug this guy in before I forget. And my car starts yelling at me that I don't have any oil pressure. Alright. Plugged in. Tighten down, tighten down, tighten down. Put this back, put the belt back. Well, after I put the lines back. Right about being done. So hopefully, it also means right about being able to finally drive this thing around, which I have been missing, unfortunately. So that should at least hold it from falling on my head.
Two more on top. That was one of the nice things about when you kind of work on the same car so often, you kind of realize, like, huh, at least if it's a Mazda part, you can usually almost guarantee when it's a bigger size bolt. You're looking at a 12 or a 14. Well, you have a 12 and a 14 you can take apart most of your Mazda. So I got a little bit of a cold in my eye. And if that's never happened to you, cold's a little spicy when it gets under your eye. Put the lines back on, and then technically, only technically, it should be, I got the belt back here. Well, not technically, but we're almost done. Almost there. Well, halfway there. Actually, I don't know if there's any copy readings on the shut up. Good right there. That's good enough for now. Okay. Right there. Pretty sure guys are 112s, if I'm not mistaken. Which I am not. Okay, and then just gonna tighten down this fella right here. Man, there's a lot more to go than I thought. There you go. Okay, give this one a touch up. Just for me to feel a little confident. Alright. Cool. Alright, let me grab the belt from up here. And then, officially, should be good to go. Never understood why belts like to be the wrong way. I'm sure it's harder than made, but man, does it kind of make it a bit of a punk when you're trying to put it on. And sometimes it's like, get the belt straight, or what the heck? I haven't touched nothing, none of the tensioners or nothing, for it to not want to fall right in place. But, you know, of course, it's gonna not want to fall right in place. There you go. Cool, we're gonna alternator on right there. Should, in theory, crank down the tensioner up top. It should be good. Maybe use the top, crank it down, and throw the battery on, see if it won't start. Sorry, I got a little bit of a coal in my eye. And if that's never happened to you, coal's a little spicy when it gets into your eye.
Put the lines back on, and then technically, and only technically, we should be, oh, I gotta put the belt on too. So not technically, but we're almost done. Almost there.
Well, halfway there. Show them doesn't make copy rings on my shirt. Good right there. That's good enough for now. Okay. Right there. Pretty sure there's more 12s, if I'm not mistaken. Which I am not. Tighten down this fella right here. Man, there's a lot more to go than I thought. There you go. And give this one a touch up. Just for me to feel a little confident. Alright.
Never understood why belts like to be the wrong way. I'm sure it's however they're made, but man, does it kind of make it a bit of a punk when you're trying to put it on.
And sometimes it's like, get the belt straight or what the heck? I haven't touched nothing, none of the tensioners or nothing, for it to not want to fall right in place. But, you know, of course, it's gonna not want to fall right in place. There you go. Cool.
Alternator almost right there. Should, in theory, crank down the tensioner up top. We should be good. Alright, so moment of truth. Just charged the battery. So we're looking at a little bit over 12. Almost 13 volts. But realistically, when this turns on, we should be seeing 13 to 14. Like hard stuck. Before, it would only show like hard 12. The old alternator. Unfortunately, I don't have a video because, well, I thought that's just what it was charging at. Obviously, the alternator was on its way out, and I just didn't realize. Start it up. Alright. Nice. When you start, check the engine light's always on. got the car down. Obviously, you see we're looking good. Right at 14. So, I just want to check real quick. Obviously, the best way to check your alternator is you pull off one of your battery terminals and see if your car still runs. See, didn't even stutter, didn't even think about it. So we know that at least the alternator is running good enough that it'll run the car without using the battery. Again, do that. See right there, nice, over 14 volts. You know we're charging good. Thanks for watching. Sorry that this is a long video, but at the very least, thanks for sticking all the way to the end. Appreciate it. Hope to make plenty more videos.